Labours of Steel, their brand new latest release, the Manticore Power Rack, is finally live. The No Fate channel, checking in. Jonathan here with another home gym equipment review for you. This time from Labours of Steel, their most hyped piece of equipment, the Manticore Power Rack. We're gonna do a comparison against some of the competitors. We're gonna drop in our early access and see what the price point is gonna be and take you through the whole process. I have special early access to the Manticore that's not given to anyone else who hasn't signed up for their newsletter. It also comes with a 10% off coupon. So let's build the Manticore, see what it's going to cost, look at some of the features, and frankly, compare it to the direct competition. So for those of you not familiar, this is Labours of Steel 1-inch hardware power rack. It is a true 3x3. So if you buy your power racks overseas, it's not 100% 3 inches by 3 inches because they use the metric system. So this is very comparable to Rogue, who does make a true 3x3 power rack. Let's dive right in with the starting price of $900 before we add any bells and whistles to this thing. It will ship by December 20th, so this is a pre-order, but I found that most people don't really worry about pre-orders. They actually like pre-orders because they pick what they want. They usually get a discount for ordering in advance, and then the thing just kind of shows up. And believe it or not, December 20th, 2023 is going to be here before you know it. So it's made out of 11 gauge steel like all power racks, or at least most of them. 1,000-pound capacity, which is, again, a bit more than I can lift and probably a bit more than you can lift. Black powder coated, hardware included, ships unassembled. Yeah, so some elbow grease is going to be required. Let's choose our height. And this is one of the nice features, I think, is that for many people, you fall under a couple of different categories. You've got a super low ceiling or a closet, you're gonna wanna go 72 inches. For most people, if you've got a basement like me, 84 inches is where you're gonna wanna go. I would recommend always get at least 90 inches or even higher if you have the headroom. I think 108 inches is probably gonna be too high for many people, but it does open up a lot of vertical real estate on the uprights. And frankly, if I had the space and the money, I absolutely would go with the 108-inch uprights. But for most people, because we're gonna try to compare apples to apples, let's do the 90-inch. Now for depth, 24 inches for many people is gonna be too small. 43 inches is gonna be too big if that's such a thing. It will cost you a bit more in some of the safeties because it's just longer. But for most people, 30 inches is gonna be that Goldilocks zone. Now you can go with the standard pull-up bar. You know me, I always go multi-grip. It's just kind of ingrained in me. I need to thank all of you for using my affiliate links, which are in the description of today's video. Not only does that support future content, it helps me explain to the wife why I'm downstairs talking to myself for so long. When you use those links, let me know so that I can send you a small token of my appreciation. And one of the nice things about this Manticore, as well as the Hydra, is you really can pick what you want. It's really choose your own adventure. They don't force you into getting their nameplate, right? You can just decide, hey, I don't want the nameplate. I want another pull-up bar, or I just want something that's super low-key like this. But for most people, you're going to want the nameplate. All right, J-cups. It comes with the standard ones, but I think you could get roller ones. You can get sandwich. We're going to go sandwich because I'm feeling hungry, and I think a lot of people would prefer the sandwich J-cup design. Safeties, very, very important. And it's nice that Labours of Steel has so many options here. And again, I'm just a fan of the strap safeties. They're easier on your barbell, they're quieter, and for me, I'm able to kind of set them up so I can really fine-tune where they lay as far as putting one slightly higher than the other side in order to create just a little bit more room if I need it, or a little bit less room as the case may be. So with our initial 10% off discount, because we're so special, it comes in at $1,157.30 with free shipping. And again, this is the pre-order. If you do wait too long, you will have to pay full price. Will I be reviewing Labours of Steel's Manticore Power Rack? And the short answer is no. I did reach out to them and ask them because I think it's something that people want to see where the nuances are on this Manticore versus some of the competition. Unfortunately, they told me they already paid a few big-time reviewers to review the Manticore, so you will be getting your paid-for reviews in the immediate future once this thing rolls rolls out. One interesting feature of the Manticore that I don't think Bells of Steel has actually done a good job at marketing is their keyholes on the outside of their uprights. On the inside, you've got 1-inch hardware, meaning these holes are 1 inch, as well as laser etched numbers on every hole. That's fantastic. On the outside, you have 1-inch hardware in terms of the hole spacing, but you also have a keyhole feature, meaning that if you have 5/8 inch attachments, they will fit into those holes and not come out. So they'll go in, they'll go down into the keyhole, and they'll lock into place. Bob's your uncle. So why should you care? Why is this a potential selling point for the Manticore? Well, 5/8 of an inch attachments are frankly cheaper than 1-inch counterparts. So if you're looking to save some money, that might be a way for you to just kind of maximize your function, because they will operate and fit the same exact way, but save some buku bucks. Also, some people are upgrading their power rack, and if you're upgrading from 5/8 of an inch to 1-inch hardware, that's also something where you're not gonna have to just throw out all of your old attachments. Would I make my final purchasing decision solely based on those keyholes on the outside of Bells of Steel's Manticore? Absolutely not, but it's a nice thing to put in the plus column for the Manticore. But how does the Manticore 1-inch hardware, true 3x3-inch power rack coming in at $1,157 actually compare to the direct competition? Now, unlike Rogue, who makes their power racks here in the United States, this is made overseas. So this is not American made. For many of you, they do care about that. So we're going to compare this 1-inch hardware to other 1-inch hardware power racks that are made overseas. And probably the biggest company out there that's putting out these type of power racks has to be Rep Fitness. So we're going to start off with their rack build and see where we end up. And we're going to try to do like for like. So we're going to do 93 inches versus the 90-inch version on the Bells of Steel. Now, one of the nice things about Rep Fitness is you can pick the color. I mean, believe it or not, people want color options, and I know a lot of people would say it doesn't matter, it's not going to get me bigger gains, but guess what? Not everyone wants black walls and black hardware and black equipment like Jocko Willings. Not everyone wants to get up in the morning, go down to their home gym and just say, good. Rack depth, 30 inches. Cross member color. This is another thing that you can specifically pick, and it's a great feature. And for the most part, depending on the color you pick, it doesn't actually add any extra charge versus going with all black. So you're essentially encouraged to pick a color. The only upcharge would be clear coat, which we're not picking. So we're going to do blue and blue. For Bluey, which my kids love to watch. Pull-up bar, you know we gotta go multi-grip. I'm telling you, if you don't have a multi-grip pull-up bar, get one. You'll be glad you did. And attachments. We've already mentioned, it's so true. Attachments for your power rack are the reason so many people love their power rack. The power rack is their bottom base of their pyramid, and all these attachments allow them to create massive amounts of versatility without adding a lot of space, without costing a lot of money. And Rep Fitness is probably the king of attachments in terms of quantity, coming in at $1,319.92. So at first glance, you can see there is a price savings because we get that 10% discount. And if you look, it does come in, if I didn't have the 10% discount, it would still come in under this $1,300 by a little bit. However, you cannot actually pick your color in Bells of Steel. You have to pick black. I want to know from you. Comment down below. Does color matter when it comes to your power rack? Do you like having color options in both the cross members and the uprights, or it doesn't matter as long as it works and frankly as long as the price is kept at a minimum? So now that we see Manticore does come in under what Rep Fitness is charging, and you will get a true 3x3 power rack, but you can't get a color option, let's dive into a few more of the details that may matter to you. Now, most people, when they get a 4-post power rack, are never gonna bolt it to the floor, and you will see that it will move a little bit forward or back depending on how you rack your heavy set. Not that big of a deal, certainly still very stable, but something to consider. Now, if you look closely, Bells of Steel has stabilizers on their uprights in the front and the rear, but none on the side, whereas Rep Fitness has stabilizing material on the bottom of their uprights on the front, the rear, and the side. So if you're just going to be getting a 4-post power rack and you're not going to bolt it to the floor, like most people, it's something that you should consider. I have to assume that it is going to be a bit more stable, the Rep one versus the Manticore. Keep in mind, for most people, stability on your power rack, not an issue. As soon as you add plate storage to it or another set of uprights, that thing is going to be locked in place and it's not going to go anywhere. One of the upsides of going with the Manticore is that Rogue Fitness attachments will fit perfectly on this power rack because it is the same true 3-inch by 3-inch construction. Now, I'm assuming that Bells of Steel will eventually continue to add more attachments to their power rack lineup, especially the Manticore. But it's not there yet, so that is something you need to consider because a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. I wanted to take a quick look at another manufacturer, Titan Fitness, known for having just really low prices on all their equipment. They have come up in their prices over the years, but they run tons of different coupons. So just quickly, I built a like for like, put everything in the cart. It comes in at $1,264. So this is still above Bells of Steel's Manticore. You do get colored uprights. You don't get colored cross members. I will say I have a 10% off coupon, and most people who have signed up for Titan Fitness's email list have a 10% off coupon sitting around as well. So if you did factor in that 10% off coupon, this would come in well under what Bells of Steel's Manticore is going to be charging. For all intensive purposes, this is same height, same hardware, same attachments, and it's also made overseas. So there's a lot of competition out there, and I want to know from you, comment down below, how do you decide? Because clearly there's always going to be a cheaper option available. How do you decide when to spend the extra money, be it for going for Bells of Steel, going for Rep Fitness, or just going for Titan Fitness when there's in fact still cheaper options than Titan? Now, for me, when I'm trying to choose one piece of equipment over another, unfortunately, I don't factor the price differential in very much. Reason being is usually the actual price percentage difference is very small, and since home gym equipment will last forever in a home gym, I want to make sure I get the right thing for my home gym rather than just trying to save 30 or 40 bucks. Overall, I do like having different color options because I've got a little bit of a feng shui, a little bit of a color coordinating theme in my home gym, and it's nice to go down to your home gym and look at it and see that it's not exactly like everyone else's home gym. If you want to see another amazing YouTube video that's sure to float your boat and tickle your pickle, then check this one out. If you made it this far, we're officially best friends, like Arnold Schwarzenegger and the nanny. Thanks for making it all the way to the end, and don't save anything for the trip back.
Job's done.